talk about ways we can create inclusive spaces at work and in our communities this Pride Month. Good morning to you both. Maxine, let's start with you. As the co-founder of Flip Learning, tell us about some of the work you do with Alberta Blue Cross around inclusivity and belonging in the workplace.
Sure. So our consultancy focuses on helping organizations learn and change, and a lot of the learning and changing that's happening right now is moving beyond talking about and training about equity, inclusion, and into actually embedding it in ways of working and ways of doing business. And so in partnership with Catherine and her team at Alberta Blue Cross, what we've done is put employees and leaders at the center of the design process. So we've engaged with the humans that work there and understand what's important to them in their lives and in their work and what the experience of the workplace is like, and created experiences where everyone can get a sense of what it's like to be somebody else. And so what that does, without shaming or blaming, is creating discovery, curiosity, possibility, informing everybody that works there, whether they're at the board level making governance decisions or the frontline level making customer decisions, with an equity and inclusion mindset in decision making. And so what we've heard from folks that work there is that it's created an environment where people feel seen and valued, and that shows up in lots of different ways, including engagement, retention, creativity, and customer experience.
Wow. Talking is one thing, embedding it in the culture is another thing, Maxine. That's impressive to hear. If companies are looking for ways to celebrate Pride Month, what are some ways to do that?
Well, a big one is to do some work to investigate the biases that are existing kind of under the waterline, below our consciousness, both as individuals and organizations. And so, as an example, I'm in my 40s. I grew up in a time when Hollywood comedy and playground insults was fairly homophobic, and so it's a process of unlearning after decades of being immersed in that. Some of the biases, some of the thinking, some of the behaviors that comes with it. And what I found is a really good way to do that is to consume content, whether that's books or movies or social media content that's authored and produced by folks that are a part of the 2S LGBTQ+ community. And what that does is enables you to view the stories, the world through their point of view versus through stereotypes or tropes, which is what we're often presented with. But another way, of course, is to get out and celebrate and learn with the community by partaking in some of the Pride events that are going on.
Catherine.
And of course, talk to your employees. Find out what they value. What are they really interested in? What do they really want out of an inclusive organization? And so for today, I'm actually wearing our new Alberta Blue Cross Pride t-shirt. And this came about because our employees asked us this year to come up with a different way to celebrate Pride. So we had a design contest, and this t-shirt was designed by one of our employees. So it's a way for us to really demonstrate our support to the community, and not just in the month of June, but throughout the entire year.
And that's key, isn't it? Throughout the entire year. Catherine, as someone who works in HR, why is it so important for organizations to build an inclusive workplace for employees, but also as communities?
Oh, for sure. So when we talk about inclusive workplaces, we're really talking about organizational culture. And it's about creating a culture where everyone, regardless of who they are, feels that they're treated with respect, they feel valued, welcomed, supported, and most of all, and probably the most important thing, is that they feel safe at work to be who they are. And certainly the research is telling us that when you have an inclusive workplace, employees are much happier and healthier. And the stats are quite interesting, because what we're seeing is inclusive organizations are realizing up to a 75% decrease in sick time with their employees, a 50% decrease in employee turnover. And 3/4 now of Canadian job seekers are actively searching out inclusive employers to apply at. So as an inclusive employer, that just opens up your pool of talent that you can draw from. So certainly, building an inclusive culture it supports the health and the well-being of your employees, and it also really contributes to organizational success, which is so important nowadays. So, building an inclusive culture. If your employees are thriving and your employees feel that they're successful, your organization's successful, and ultimately that just ripples out to your community.
Win, 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 and then win, win, win again.
Absolutely.
All right, great t-shirt By the way, that's a fantastic T-shirt. Looks great. Maxine, Catherine, thank you so much for joining us today and for having this discussion today with us so that we can all think about ways that we can promote inclusivity in our workplaces, in our lives, and in our communities. For more on what we discussed today, you can visit Alberta Blue Cross online, ab.bluecross.ca, or follow their social media channels. Coming up, helping Calgarians feed